ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं साजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद everyone can raise their hands. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा। So um, from today onwards we are beginning um, a journey where we will have a series of classes wherein it would be focused as we get into the details of Bhagavad Gita. There will be an initial set of few classes which will be focused on very foundational basics, understanding, um, understanding which we'll be able to grasp the concepts of Bhagavad Gita. This is a very divine subject which Srila Prabhupada has very wonderfully, he has brought the messages, the summary of all the acharyas in the line of disciplic succession, and he's giving it to us in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Krishna book, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we'll go through that. Okay, Bhagavad Gita and the Krishna book. There, uh, Bhagavad Gita is the message of Krishna, and the Krishna book is about the activities of Krishna, or the Srimad Bhagavatam is about the activities of Lord and his devotees. So, um, with that being said, let us get into a story which is very, very crucial, and it has a lot of learnings from um, that we can take from. And today, what I have done is like, okay, in today's session, we'll talk about 3 to 4 different topics which will be very relevant for our lives. And if we can take these summary, and if we can start contemplating on this and living our life in this way, as I had mentioned in the audio that I shared in the group, this will start the transformation in our journey. For the next about 16 to 20 sessions, we'll be focusing completely on this aspect. And during that journey, um, if we take little every week as to what we can do within our life, because there are a lot of things to do, but if we focus on the foundational principles, then and keeping Krishna in the center, then definitely our life transforms. Hare Krishna, Vatsal Prabhu. Thank you for joining. Um, so let's get started. So actually, um, in this story, there is a photographer who is from a European country. He um, he's a very famous photographer, and in this, what he does is like, okay, he goes to a third world country, okay, and he goes there with the objective of capturing how people in the third world country are living. Now, obviously, like, okay, when photographers go there, like people, when they take photographs from these places, they can they they become very popular. And the photographer had um, he was already very popular, and he had certain things in his mind as aspirations. So when he landed in this third world country, he goes into a tribal area, and into this tribal area, he actually sees there are many tribal children over there. So he thinks that he wants to do a sport amongst these tribal children. So what he does is he he takes a bag of chocolate, and he puts that bag of chocolate underneath a tree which is little distant from all the children, where the children were, and he tells the children that, okay, I want you to, there will be a race amongst all of you, and whoever wins this race, they will get all the entire bag of chocolate. Now, this tribal children, like, okay, as you can understand, like, just if you visualize, they are malnourished, they do not have proper clothing, they do not have proper food, they do not have proper accommodation. And amidst all that, like, okay, now there is a lucrative offer to get a bag of chocolate. So there is a race being held. So this photographer says, at the count of three, you can all run, and then whoever wins, they get the bag of chocolate. Okay, deal is struck. So this guy says one, two, and three. And as soon as he says, all of them start running. And the photographer is thrilled. Yes. And slowly, and suddenly, what happens is one child amongst them, that child falls down. So when that child falls down, all these children come back, and they lift this child up, and they hold each other's hand, and then they start walking. and the photographer is astonished what is happening. And what happens is, throughout the entire, like through the entire journey to the tree, everyone holds their hand by each other, and they just walk, and then they get the bag of chocolate. So the photographer says that, okay, so when they get this bag of chocolate, they distribute it amongst themselves, and they start having it. So the photographer is completely bewildered with this action. He tells that, how is it that you all took each other by hand and you went? If one of you would have gone there, you could have actually got the entire bag of chocolate. Why did you not do that? So, so the tribal children who are in deep poverty, who who are malnourished, who have who are in the underdeveloped area with very limited, or rather with underdeveloped facilities, they said that, okay, if we would have got all of this alone, then there would have been no joy. The joy is in sharing. So the photographer who had come here to click pictures and take took a lesson from here. What is that lesson? The lesson is that sharing is caring. In this journey of life, um, it's a journey between between B and D, birth and death. the Between birth and death, that is B and D, there comes C, and C stands for choices. The choices that we make in this between in our journey of life actually distinguishes us from what the whole world is doing. It actually differentiates us from what everyone is doing around. If we are in the rat race, then we can be in the rat race. And we spoke about how others who have been in this rat race. We spoke about Steve Jobs. Like, okay, it's not that, okay, I respect Steve Jobs, but the thing is, uh, if if we take, like, okay, his aspirations, like, okay, then at the end of the when he was asked, like, okay, that what is the future of Apple, then he was at a situation where he was suffering from cancer. He said, look, I just need 6 months more. I don't want to think about Apple right now. So, but he has been very successful throughout. um, so if we share, if we care for people around, while whatever may be our aspirations, while we are doing that, that really brings a lot of blessings along our path. And in whatever capacity we can, all may have different capacity, and in whatever capacity we participate, um, that is um, absolutely perfectly fine. um, there is there is one there is one thing I want to mention here. So there are different type of caring and sharing that we can do when um, we can offer someone, like, okay, some food that is good, when we can offer someone with education that is good. But let us see this second story, where we can understand that, what are the things that we can offer. So in this particular story, this is about a um, about an infant. uh, Somewhere you can consider that, okay, like infant, like, okay, moving into toddler zone, like, okay, or or in that infant zone. A child who is lost in a fair, um, fun fair, So with a lot of people around, this child gets scared. Has anyone ever had the experience of getting lost from parents? No one? Okay. I have had that experience like once when I was small. It was definitely, uh, it was a difficult experience as a small child. So this child is lost, and this child is crying, is constantly crying. And when when people when child is crying and the funfair, like people gathered around him, and then one person comes and says, you know what, I know, like, okay, what why he's crying for. He's feeling very cold, so we need to get him some warm blanket. So he brings warm blanket and gives it to the child. Very nice person, actually. So he immediately brings warm blanket, gives it to the child, and the child is comforted. But the child stops for a moment and then continues to cry. So another gentleman within the crowd, he comes back and says that, okay, um, actually you have not understood the problem. The problem is that this child is hungry. That is why he's crying. So let me get some food for him. So he brought some baby food for him. And when the child took some food, like, okay, the child got comforted for just a moment, and then he again started crying. And then there is there is a third gentleman who comes back and says that you do not know where the problem is. This child is having some kind of a pain in the colic. Infants generally have this colic pain. So this child needs medicine. Let me get some medicine for him. So he gives some medicine and the child is comforted, but that also doesn't last long and he starts crying like very loudly. So the child is screaming now. And then one person among the crowd comes back and says that I know what the problem is. Aren't you Mr. Pandey's son? So as soon as he says that, like, okay, I know his father, like, okay, he's Mr. Pandey. And everyone in the crowd is like, oh, is it Mr. Pandey's son? And the child also smiles hearing the name of his father. Like, okay, he said, okay, I will take him to his father. Now, I have a question for everyone. Like the other three gentlemen who came by to help, and this fourth one, like, okay, is there anyone who is bad out of this, who is not so good? Anyone?
No, I think they're all good. They're all trying to help the child.
Yes, they are all trying to help. But who did the ultimate good, like, okay?
The last one, yeah.
The last one. And
Yeah.
what did the last one do? The last one took took the child to his father. So till that time, like the child was crying. And this actually this story, it may seem very simple, but it is very significant because in this world, we are also like that child. We are always crying, crying for different things. And there are many people, there are many people, we get help and we are looking for something, this, that, okay, but we are trying to look for something that will give us happiness. But these, but our real thing is we are disconnected from our Supreme Father. And now in this story, if we look at it, if the child was taken to his father, can the father provide him medicine? Yes, the father can provide him medicine. Can the father provide him warm blanket? Yes, the father can provide him warm blanket. Can the father provide him like, okay, like any other needs? Yes, The father knows exactly, can he provide food? Yes, he can provide food. So anything that the child may need, the father can provide that. The child's main problem was that he was disconnected from the father. And that is what our main condition in this world is. We are disconnected from our Supreme Father. The moment we connect with our Supreme Father, and even in the story, if we think about it, when the child is crying on one side, the father is also not happy. Father is also crying on the other side, trying to figure out where the son could be. But when they both come together, like, okay, they are so joyful. The father is so happy to get the child, and the child is so happy to get the father. So when we are connected with our Supreme Father, we also feel a lot of joy. And the Lord also, Lord Krishna, who says that I am the seed giving father. Aham Bija Prajapita. He says, I am the seed giving father of all living entities. He does not say, I am the seed giving father of only human beings. He does not say, I am the seed giving father of only Hindus or this or that. Look, he's saying, I am the seed giving father of all living entities, of all animals, insects, whatever microorganism that we can think of. So that when we connect with that father, he knows exactly what we need. And how do we connect with that father? How do we establish our connection with that father? Now let me take an example here. Very recently, like, okay, within our group, there is a devotee who has been blessed with a baby girl. So um, now all of us have seen children around. I know Vatsal Prabhu has he's dealing with two kids, and one of them is young enough. So we know as a child what children do is like, okay, when they're in the infancy age, if they need anything, they just cry. "Wah." And now they don't say "Wah, food, wah, potty." It does not say like that. They just cry. Okay. And what is the duty of the father or mother? They just come, they check like what could be the problem. Oh, okay. He needs a warm blanket. Okay, okay, okay. He needs food. Okay, he needs to be. This child needs to be. Diaper needs to be changed or whatever. The child's work is only to cry, and rest is taken care of by the parent. The child does not have to make a demand that give me this, give me that. So in that very same way, if we cry out for Krishna, and what is the best means of crying out for Krishna? It is by chanting the names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And our Srila Prabhupada says that if we cry out helplessly, just as a child, okay, and when we are crying out at that time, if our only focus in hearing the sound vibration of the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just by that, we are attracting the Lord's attention. This is the most simplest way of attracting the Lord. And there is a very significant comparison actually given in this Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that this is the Kali Yuga, but in Satya Yuga, so in every Yuga, there is a dharma of the Yuga. And in Satya Yuga, the dharma was, it was meditation. So so people used to meditate for several years. Um, at that time, like, okay, they had much higher lifespan. So after Satyug came Treta Yuga, then came Dwapar Yuga, and then came Kali Yuga. In this cycle of four yugas, the Dwapar and Treta got switched. So generally it's a Satya, Dwapar, Treta, and Kali. But in this, the Manvantar that we are uh, in this it is Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, and there is reason behind that actually. So in Kali Yuga, if we see an average human being's life, maximum life expectancy is 100 years, okay, roughly around that. So in the previous age, Dwapar, it was 1000 years. In the Treta Yuga, it was 10,000 years. And in the Satya Yuga, it was 100,000 years. So if you have heard about Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu meditated for 60,000 years. You can imagine. So right now we do not have so much lifespan. So, but in Satyug, the Yuga Dharma was meditation. And then in Treta Yuga, the Yuga Dharma was fire sacrifice. So they used to do yagya. And in the Dwapar Yuga, the Yuga Dharma was, it was um, detailed deity worship. But in Kali Yuga, as the quality of people decreased um, in all ways, like, okay, as their spiritual inclination also decreased. So in Kali Yuga, it is said that just by chanting the holy name, one can get the same effect as they got um, by doing meditation in the Satyug, or by doing the fire sacrifice in the Treta Yuga, or by doing the detailed deity worship in Dwapar Yuga. That same benefit one can get in this Kali Yuga. And this is the Yuga Dharma. Yuga Dharma means it is the prescribed medicine for this Kali Yuga. And just by chanting the holy name, one can get the highest benefit in this age of Kali. So, um, and and in Kali Yuga, okay, it is said, Kaler doshe nidhi rajan eko asti mahan guna. In Kali Yuga, it is an ocean of faults. Everywhere, if we see, there is some or the other thing that we see that is going wrong, whether it is at uh, like at a physical level, or at the at our home, or at the community, or in the whatever nation, across nations. So we will see so many faults around. Okay, and it is not really there is not something great in finding fault, but just by chanting the holy name, and there is fault, and it is not a perfect situation everywhere. It is an imperfect situation, but just by chanting the holy name, we can come out of this terrible cycle of birth and death, and we can live a blissful life. So I'll move on to the to the third story actually. um, it is very inevitable, as I was saying, that okay, that we have to chant the holy name, and by chanting the holy name we can invoke the mercy of the Lord. This has been proclaimed in our scriptures. So now let us understand, like, okay, see, if we look into the history, um, it is very important that what is this Kali Yuga about? Kali Yuga is about age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Okay, there is quarrel in every place, and whatever is inside our heart may not be outside what we are doing. I may come back and I may say that, okay, oh, please come here, please come and sit. Oh, I heard that, okay, you got a nice house, but in my heart, I might be very envious about that. Okay. Oh, oh, and Facebook is the mantra now. Facebook is more so fake book. Like, okay, if you see the pictures or everything, like, okay, if you see, you want to show the best, okay, but, and people also want to see, okay, what is happening. So it's, there is a lot of about, like, okay, showing, like, okay, what I'm doing. That is hypocrisy, although it may not be the same what is within our heart. And in this age, there are three things that people are running after. It is called Kanak, Kamini, and Kirti. Kanak means wealth. It is actually means gold or wealth. Kamini means opposite sex, and Kirti. Kirti means yash, or it means fame. Okay, but to the extent we run after these, this will not make us happy. and what is, let us hear about two stories actually. So this is one, I will just touch upon this. I did talk about this in the past, so I'll just briefly touch upon this. That is on Narad Muni. Narad Muni, he was a maid servant's son in his past life. So you can imagine what is the condition of a maid servant's son. Obviously, we were talking about the tribals. Like, okay, a maid servant's son is, like, okay, obviously they will not be well privileged. They will be underprivileged, and the maid servant, son, like, okay, they do not have good clothes to wear. Obviously, not much good food. Very limited uh, facilities that we can think of. Accommodation may not be up to the mark as we look at it. So, but as a child, Narad Narad Muni, okay, who was in his past life as a maid servant's son, um, at the time of Chaturmas. Chaturmas means the rainy season. During that season, okay, they were staying in a village, and some sadhus came there. So Narad Muni's mother, he invited the sadhus to come and take rest at their place. Now, in a Chaturmas, for those who do not know, um, sadhus do not travel actually, because they generally sadhus travel across multiple places, but when it comes to rainy season, they stay at one place. So, Narad Muni's mother, like, okay, he asked him to stay. She asked the sadhus to stay in that particular place and take prasad at their place. Even though they had very limited, she would be just working in other people's places, and the sadhus don't need much actually. So they accepted that offer, and they came and stayed there at their place. So in the Narad Muni, now in his past life, what he used to do is he would support his mother. Like, okay, he would give water to the sadhus. He would just clean up their plates after they are done eating. He would clean that place where they have eaten. He would do menial services, and then he would actually uh, massage the sadhus' feet. Okay, and the sadhus in turn, what they will do is they will do Krishna Katha. So on one hand, Narad Muni was menially serving them, and the sadhus would be telling them Krishna Katha, and Narad Muni would be hearing. As a small boy, he was only 6 or 7 years old. So Chaturmas, and during this time, like, okay, these sadhus, they told Narad Muni, like, okay, how he needs to meditate, how he needs to remember the Lord. Narad Muni understood that, and And then after Chaturmas, these sadhus left. And after some time, like, okay, the mother of Narad Muni, she got bitten by a snake, and she left her body. She died. So this was then Narad Muni had no one in the world. As a 6 or 7 year old, he was actually all alone. So Narad Muni remembered the instructions of the sadhus on how to meditate. He was asked to go to the forest and chant some mantras. So Narad Muni, he actually left his house and he started going into the forest. He meditated on the mantra when he reached deep forest. And as he was chanting the mantra, the form of Lord appeared right within his heart. He could see the form of the Lord as he was chanting the mantra. So as soon as he saw that form of Lord, Lord is so beautiful that he got completely captivated. And immediately the form disappeared. And Narad Muni started looking everywhere. Where are you? Krishna, where are you? Krishna, where are you? And he was, he became really mad actually because this form was so beautiful. He was having the darshan of Lord and he couldn't find anywhere. And he became very utmost depressed and morose, not finding the Lord anywhere. And that time, um, there was a Akashvani that happened. In that Akashvani, it was told that you you will get my darshan in your next life. Right now, you are not purified enough to have my darshan, so you you will get purified in this life, and you will soon come back to my abode, and then you will be constantly with me. So um, so Narad Muni, and of course, like there were detailed discussions, but I'm just cutting it short, telling the essence of it. So Narad Muni got that message, and he sincerely practiced meditating on the mantra that he was told by the sadhus, and he perfected his life. And then what happens? In his next life, he is born as Narad Muni. Narad Muni, who is a constant companion of the Lord. He is so exalted, he does not need any helicopter or any visa or anything. He can travel to any place at his will. He can travel to this material world. He can travel to Brahmalok. Even he can travel to Vaikuntha. He can travel to Kailash, where Lord Shiva is there, and he can travel to Golok Vrindavan, where Shri Krishna resides. So he's an air jet by his by his on his own, and he's completely, totally absorbed in always singing the glories of Lord. Just a Now let us analyze this particular story. What did Narad Muni do to get this position? Does anyone remember? Anyone wants to share that? What did he do to get this position? Uh, yes,
Chanting,
Paramati. He
chanting.
chanted.
Yeah.
Yes, he chanted. But before that, what did he do? Let me give a hint. When the sadhus came, what did he do?
Or he was serving them. He was doing seva.
Yes, he was serving them. He was menially serving them.
Mm.
Okay. And just by that, he got the sadhu's blessings. He was he was serving them and he was hearing Krishna Katha. He was serving and he was hearing. Okay, so in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that tadvidhi pranipatena. परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदिक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानम ज्ञानिना तत्वदर्शिना. This is a very, very important verse. This is a this is the verse where it says, how can one receive the divine transcendental knowledge that Lord is giving? See, Bhagavad Gita is a book if we look at it, but not anyone who reads Bhagavad Gita can get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. There are many people who have written Bhagavad Gita, but Bhagavad Gita is told by Lord Krishna to Arjun, to his friend Arjun. Now, in many versions of Bhagavad Gita, I'll be very honest, I actually tried to read multiple versions of Bhagavad Gita, but I saw in many versions like Krishna's position as God is not there, and like Krishna is saying something. In some cases, like Krishna is not even an important character. He's a person, he's a motivating person. He may not be a god, but here Krishna is revealing a divine knowledge. Okay, so let us understand this. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. So it means that in order to get this divine knowledge, one has to submissively, humbly, submissively ask questions. And in what mode they should ask question? They should they can ask questions and they should be serving. Okay, and when they serve, and whom should they serve? One who is Tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi means who is self realized. When this happens, that means one who is self realized, who comes in the bona fide parampara. When, when questions are asked in that line of disciplic succession, then the divine knowledge is revealed. Then the divine knowledge is revealed. So, in this context, um, since we spoke about service and the divine knowledge of being revealed, I want to touch upon this next story. What does service mean? We can understand this is um, so we have heard about um, uh, has everyone heard about Srila Ramanujacharya? Is there anyone who has not heard about Srila Ramanujacharya? Okay, I have one question. I see someone with the name iPhone. Can I ask who is this? Then I can just add your name here. Can you hear me? Okay, I think there is some issue there. So Srila Ramanujacharya, he comes from a very bona fide sampradaya, and he is an acharya of the sampradaya. There are um, there are four sampradayas. One is called the Sri Sampradaya, one is Kumar Sampradaya, one is Brahma Sampradaya, and fourth one is Rudra Sampradaya. These are four bona fide sampradaya that are coming from Lord Krishna directly, and these are considered bona fide. Of course, in today's day, we see so many sampradayas, but not all of the sampradayas are bona fide. Anything that comes in line with these four sampradayas, because these are especially mentioned in the scriptures, that in these sampradayas, um, that these four sampradayas are considered to be bona fide. So let us look at Sri Sampradaya. Sri Sampradaya is the one which is coming in the lineage of Mother Lakshmi, Shri. Okay. The second one is Rudra Sampradaya. Rudra Sampradaya is coming from Lord Shiva. So Krishna gave the knowledge to uh, Krishna, or in this case, Vishnu gave the knowledge to Lakshmi ji, and from there Sri Sampradaya came. Krishna gave the knowledge to Lord Shiva, and from there Rudra Sampradaya came in. Shivji gave it further. Then Kumar Sampradaya is where Chatush Kumar were given the knowledge, and they they shared this knowledge, which where Chatush Kumar, where the Kumar Sampradaya came in. And fourth one is Brahma Sampradaya. Lord Krishna gave the knowledge to Lord Brahma, and from there, this this parampara came in. So ISKCON comes in the line of Brahma Sampradaya. So it is also uh, with the main acharyas who are there. It is also called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So so let us understand. We want to take this story from Srila Ramanujacharya's pastime. Okay, Ramanujacharya, he had a disciple, a very prominent disciple in the line of disciplic succession. His name was Dasharathi. Dasharathi was a very exemplary devotee, and he used to um, preach very boldly, and he was very prominent. He was very well known, very popular all across the board, and he was very prompt in serving his guru. So one day Dashrathi comes to his Guru Maharaj, Srila Ramanujacharya, and he asks a question. Question is, "Oh my dear master, can you explain me the verse, this particular verse from Bhagavad Gita, which tells, and what is that verse? Sarva dharma parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami masucha." He asked this question. He has asked this question to Ramanujacharya, and Ramanujacharya is looking at him. Um, and before Ramanujacharya could say anything, suddenly there is a door opens and comes one lady. This lady um, is the daughter of the guru of Ramanujacharya. His name is Mahapurna. Okay, and the lady comes in and she tells it. Okay, she tells Ramanujacharya that my in-laws, they're never happy with me. They're always troubling me. Okay, and no one appreciates me. Um, everyone is, they're always trying to find fault with me. So, and they always want me to do more and more and more, and they are never happy. So, I need your help, Shri Ramanacharya. So, uh, so she said, like, okay, I am looking for someone who can help me with my household core activities. Basically, what is she looking for? She's looking for a maid servant. So Srila Ramanujacharya says, yes, let me send you a maid servant to your place who will serve you very nicely. So Ramanujacharya says, Dasharathi had come for asking the question. He says, he is your maid servant. Please take him. And and Ramanujacharya's the Mahapurna's daughter says, okay, please come. Now let me pause for a moment. Can you think what happened? Um, Dasharathi, who is a very popular, he he does Krishna Katha all around. He came to his guru to ask a question. Okay. And what does his guru tell him? His guru tells the Mahapurna's daughter, guru does not even tell him anything. He tells Mahapurna's daughter that okay, he's your maid servant, take him. So if it I mean obviously if it is us, then we'll be like, what? Come on, look at my status. Where what are you doing? Are you even a valid guru? So Dashrathi didn't do any of these things. So I was just telling about my consciousness. So Dashrathi, what he did is he went with Mahapurna's daughter, and he started serving at Mahapurna's daughter's place. He would daily get up, he would clean the place, he would wash utensils, he would wash their clothes, he would do cooking, he would do practically everything, anything and everything that Mahapurna's daughter would tell. And slowly, what happened is everyone started really appreciating, like, okay, Mahapurna's, everyone, they were happy with whatever they were, whatever Mahapurna's daughter was doing. So this was going on. And like this, Dashrathi kept serving. 1 year passed away. After 1 year, one day, Dashrathi had been to a lake to wash clothes. So he was washing clothes, and very close to that lake, there was a Krishna Katha happening. And one Kathakar, he was doing this Krishna Katha, and when he was doing the Katha, suddenly he forgot one verse. He was trying to remember that verse, but he was unable to find. And he asked if anyone in the audience could share that particular verse. So in this, Dashrathi, who is sitting by the side and he's washing clothes, he tells that verse very nicely. And the Kathakar was very pleased. And he said that, can you try to share the meaning of this as well? And Dashrathi, he shared the meaning of this very nicely, with such depth and with so much love for the Lord. When he shared this meaning of this verse, the Kathakar was most amazed, and he said, who are you? Because you cannot be that dhobi, like you cannot be that washerman, like, okay, who is washing the clothes. And then amongst the audience, someone rose and says, Arey, I know who he is. He is that famous Dasharathi. He's here. Um, so, and he's serving, like, okay, in that house. He's cleaning clothes and what all he's doing. He's that famous disciple of Srila Ramanujacharya. How is he doing like this? And Dashrathi and all this crowd started to head to this person's place, actually, Mahapurna's in-laws place. So when they reached the in-laws place, they told, okay, oh, this is that famous Dashrathi. He's a top class Vaishnav, and you have kept him as a servant. These guys, they were not devotees. So they thought, okay, okay, oh, he was doing so much. They said, okay, thank you so much. You served us so nicely for 1 year. We are so grateful to you. So they thanked him. And Dashrathi left from there. Mahapurna's daughter was also very grateful to him. And then Dashrathi came back. He came to Ramanujacharya. And when he came to Ramanujacharya, Ramanujacharya glanced at him, and he said, I'm very pleased with you. And he came and he hugged Dashrathi. When he hugged Dashrathi, then something very interesting happened. दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो, दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो. The entire knowledge was transferred heart to heart. He had that question. Ramanujacharya told him, you had that question, right? And the entire knowledge was transferred heart to heart. Guru did not have to tell anything. It was all revealed in the heart of Dashrathi. So that is the power of a bona fide sampradaya. That is the power of guru and disciplic succession. Um, the power of association with such exemplary bona fide devotees. So I know we are um, at 1 hour, and I wanted to cover one more thing, but I think I will stop here. If any of you have any question, then we can take it at this point. I want to just summarize what we covered. So firstly, we covered about the photographer story. This photographer story, through that we learned how care, caring is actually sharing, how sharing is caring. Okay, then we discussed about that child lost in the marketplace and in that fun fair. And in that story, we understood how important it is to have our relationship with the Supreme Lord. We could be crying for anything and everything in this world, but our main reason for this is because we are disconnected with our Supreme Father. Thirdly, we talked about the father who is crying. It's not just the child, but the father is also crying. So when so there are two aspects here to learn from here. When we when this person who got Mr. Pandey's son to him, Mr. Pandey was very happy to see his son, but he was most happy to see the person who brought his son also. When we get connected to our Supreme Father, that gives Lord lot of pleasure. And when we connect someone to the Supreme Lord, when we connect someone to something that has to something where they are able to get a um, get that connection with the Supreme Lord, then that pleases the Lord. This is a very easy way of pleasing the Lord. And then we discussed about the story of Naradmuni. Naradmuni, who was a maidservant's son, he attained the position of being the eternal. He is in eternal association with the Lord at the end of his life. Narad Muni, he's always with the Lord. He's always pleasing to the Lord, and he's in such exemplary position. In material context, he had nothing in his past life, but he did the seva to the sadhus, and through that, the sadhus gave him they shared the Krishna Katha, and they gave him the process by which he can remember the Lord. So the process in this age of Kali is Mahamantra. We spoke about the Mahamantra. We spoke about in what mood we should chant the Mahamantra. And then we talked about the story of Ramanujacharya and Dasharathi, in what mood one should serve. To the extent we talk about surrender, to the extent one has this mood of surrender, that person will definitely progress. There is absolutely no doubt about it. One, when he surrenders at the right bona fide person who is coming in the line of disciplic succession, when one does that, then one definitely makes progress in spiritual path. And how can we find the right person? We should, so Srila Prabhupada, we are all connected with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee of the Lord. When if we pray to Srila Prabhupada, if we pray to Lord Krishna that please Lord, please reveal to me like whom I can connect with, whom I can associate with, then the Lord reveals. Then the Lord reveals through some. We when we hear the words coming from that, we can connect internally. Yes, this was meant for me. And when we hear with rapt attention, when we are hearing, understanding that this message has something for me, with eagerness, trying to get everything, absorb everything, then we definitely make progress. So that was a summary. I would like to ask if there are any questions or any comments any of you would like to ask. Please. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthiraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gauranga Kuti Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Does anyone have any questions or comments or any suggestion? If not, we can.
Thank you so
Yes.
much, Prabhuji. I would like to say thank you. This is, when I heard your message, definitely, I was actually supposed to go to the temple to do seva, but I was not able to go. And um, like I said in my first, appearance in this call, that everything has a meaning. Everything's happening for good reason, and this is the good reason. So thank you so much for taking time. You're the main, pillar to take us to where we want to go, and I really appreciate this, taking time, especially starting today. And you said, like, in the beginning, 16 to 20 sessions. It's going to be concentrated on our lives due to the stories of Lord that you share. So really appreciate it.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much. Thank you so much, Parul Mataji. I am just a very insignificant menial servant. And it is, when I come, I'll be very honest, it is the glories of my Guru and Srila Prabhupada. When I come, when I share these classes, I just prayed to my spiritual master, to Srila Prabhupada, that he um, gives, he blesses us with the right words, and he gives all of us that ability to understand these. And when we remember these stories in our day to day life, you have a very wonderful um, heart, you have a very wonderful background actually, through which like you are able to absorb this essence, and you are able to take the situations of life in a way that how Krishna is orchestrating. This um, this is an exemplary quality, because through this quality, one, no matter whatever turbulence that comes, they you are at that stage, like, okay, where um, you will not be disturbed, because you are accepting it with gratitude. Yes, there will be difficulties, it'll come, but this is an amazing quality. I really appreciate that. Even like, okay, I still remember when we had that previous class where there were so many times disconnections, but you were very you took that in that positive sense, and that's how Krishna is orchestrating. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham, that as you reciprocate with me, as you approach me, I reciprocate accordingly. So that is Krishna's promise. So see, like, um, that is how I see that in I see that in you, with this wonderful quality. And it is of course like, okay, the glories of Guru Parampara, who is using me as an instrument, and I'm glad. So yes, as you mentioned, as I told at the beginning of the class, next 16 to 24 sessions will be very concentrated. And if we are focused during this time, and also if we are trying to chant regularly during this, I want, even for those who are present and those who would be watching the video, that they can make a note of what are the things that they are struggling with within this life. This is one thing. And when I say this, I mean, what are the qualities? What are the different aspects within the life that they are struggling with? So if you feel comfortable, you can share with me. If you don't, then that's fine. But make a note of these. And I want you to look at this about 5 to 6 months from now. And then we can talk about it. And I'm sure there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that if you are able to share that, like, and I'm talking to all those like who will watch this, then in that case, we can see how we can address this. They will anyway get addressed. So with that, I will um, ask for your permission, If there is any further comments or any suggestions or questions, then we can take that, or else we can close it here. Thank you once again, Parul Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I'm not hearing anything, so we'll stop here. All of you have a very wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Hare Krishna.